On this day in 1859, John Brown was executed by the state of Virginia. Brown was a deeply religious man. He was raised a Puritan, and his faith was his basis for what would become a violent attack against the state.
John Brown was an abolitionist. He hated slavery, and he came to believe that slavery would only be eradicated through violence. Brown was involved in Bleeding, Kansas, a series of skirmishes and killings centered around the territory's involvement in slavery politics. Then in mid-October 1859, he staged his most infamous exploit when he and about 24 other men raided the armory in what is today Harpers Ferry, West Virginia.
Their mission was to start a rebellion among enslaved people. A company of U.S. Marines ended the raid, killing 11 raiders. Brown was arrested, tried, and executed, as were 7 of his co-conspirators. Well, in 2012, we spoke with author Tony Horwitz about the attack.
We all learn about John Brown in elementary or middle school, and we know about his raid, and then we kind of forget it. I think what surprised me the most is that this was a full-blown conspiracy. He had backers here in New England, wealthy people, prominent Harvard men, and he had dozens of men who were prepared to fight with him, and also women who helped out in the cause. So this wasn't a lone gunman. This wasn't one crazy American doing something. This was really a movement.
Abolitionists at the time were thought to be pretty passive, and yet you make the argument that first of all, that this is the incident that did in fact spark the Civil War, and he went in with that intention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wouldn't say it was the only thing that brought about the Civil War, but it was certainly a spark. And you're right, most abolitionists in this era are staunch pacifists. They're nonviolent. They believe in opposing slavery through education and moral uplift. And Brown is a very different creature. He feels slavery will only disappear if someone makes it go away, and he's prepared to do that by force.
What we're talking about is a raid on the armory, on the U.S. Armory. So these are abolitionists who are going after weapons.
Right, 100,000 guns at Harpers Ferry. There are only 2 national armories in the whole country, and he's seizing one of them, plans to free and arm slaves, and really begin a rolling campaign of slave liberation across the South. This is a very ambitious scheme.
Sacrificed not only his own life, because he was hung, he was convicted and hung. His son died.
2 of them. 2 of his sons died there.
Another one was wounded, right? And his daughter was also involved in the raid.
Right. This is very much a family affair. Brown sort of drew his family into his conspiracy back in the 1830s, quietly laying the groundwork for several decades. His sons fight with him first in Kansas, Bleeding, Kansas, fight over slavery. One of them is killed there, several are wounded, and then 2 more die at Harpers Ferry. So this family, just unimaginable sacrifice for the cause.
You know, I was thinking this book, not only is it a fascinating chapter of history that we really don't know the whole story about, but it also brings up themes that we continue to struggle with in the United States. Religious fervor, race.
Absolutely.
In some ways, the difference between the wealthy and the poor, right? John Brown was not a wealthy man.
No, he went bankrupt. He was a struggling family man and striver his whole life. Very much these issues are alive. As you mentioned, race, religious fundamentalism, the right of the individual to defy their government, and terrorism. There are many parallels between this act, really, and 9/11. He wanted to shock the nation and bring on a great conflict, and in that regard, he succeeded.
That was Kathleen Shannon in 2012. 2 men from Maine were among John Brown's raiders. William Lehman was the youngest of the group. He died in the raid.
Charles Plummer Tidd was also involved. He was from Palermo. He was stationed away from the raid, so he survived that day. Later died, though, from disease while serving in the Union Army.